Hey YouTube, it's Team Rocket again. Got a video here. This one's kind of a little bit about the new format, and with Heavy Storm being limited and the restrictions being lifted off of Mystical Space Typhoon, I wanted to talk about some deck building choices that I've kind of been messing around with in my head, playtesting a little bit. Basically, we all wanted Heavy Storm back. I don't think there was a player in the game who thought that it was fun to, lose the dice roll and have your opponent summon a Stardust or a Shein or something, set 4 cards and say go. So I think the game really needed Heavy Storm back. But here's the interesting thing. With Heavy Storm back, players aren't going to do that anymore, where they, summon a Stardust and set 4 cards and go. Well, might do it with a Stardust, but they're not going to summon, say, an Alias and set a bunch of back row cards because they're afraid you're going to have Heavy Storm. Well, if they're going to be afraid that you have Heavy Storm, what they're going to do is they're going to set 1, maybe 2 cards, and if they set 3 cards, you better believe that one of them is a Starlight Road or a Solemn Judgment or Dark Bribe or something to protect themselves. They're not just going to set 3 cards. And at that point, if you play Heavy Storm and they activate Starlight Road, it's almost an auto lose. I mean, you don't come back from getting a Starlight Road dropped on you like that. It's a free Stardust for them. I mean, you took a minus. It's just not good all around. So even if you say, oh yes, Heavy Storm's going to be a plus, at the most it's going to be a +1. If you have an opportunity to get a +2 with Heavy Storm, I'd think twice before I just drop the Heavy Storm. So if they have a Starlight Road, you lose. So what I've been thinking is, the reason that you play Heavy Storm is so they don't set a bunch of back rows. But if they think you have Heavy Storm, and everybody thinks that you're going to be playing Heavy Storm, because who doesn't, they're not going to sell those back row cards. So you could just not have Heavy Storm in your deck, and they're going to set like 1 back row at a time, and you can just pick them off with 1 MST at a time, and just get all those back rows out of your way, and then you'll be able to pull off the plays that you want. The other dynamic here is that if they don't see you play Heavy Storm, they're going to constantly be afraid of it. But once you activate Heavy Storm, say they set 2 cards and you activate Heavy Storm, they lose those 2. Well, now they know you don't have it anymore, so they can set 3 or 4 their next turn, or however many cards they have left in their hand. So they can set all of those. But if you don't have Heavy Storm in your deck, they're constantly waiting for it and constantly afraid that it's going to be played. So they're going to be setting 1 or 2 cards at a time unless they can protect themselves. If they can protect themselves, Heavy Storm's not going to play anyway. So what I think I'm going to do with this format, and maybe you guys can test this out a little bit too and let me know how it works, is I'm just going to play the 3 MSTs and maybe I'll side deck the Heavy Storm. Or maybe you can play the Heavy Storm in your main deck and then side it out, because they are going to see it game 1, know you have it, and they're not going to expect you to side that card out and bring in other things. So I think the only decks you maybe want to bring it in against or would be like stall decks or something, where you just need as much back row hate as possible, and it really doesn't matter, if they have Starlight Road or not, because you're going to lose anyway if you can't get rid of those back rows. So that's kind of the dilemma I have. Do you play 2 MST and a Heavy Storm? Do you play all 4? I think that the right play here might actually be to just play the 3 MST and leave Heavy Storm out altogether. So I'm going to try that. I'll probably try it next Tuesday, maybe at Locals or something, and let you guys know how that goes. So I guess we're going to call this like Project Back Row Hate, just like trying to figure out the best way to do it. So I think running all 4 is overkill unless you're running some sort of a combo deck that needs to go off all in one turn and you just need as many copies of back row destruction as possible. But I think a lot of decks are kind of slower, more beat down decks. So I don't know. I'm going to give it a try, and let me know what you guys think. As of right now, I think that the best play this format is to go with 3 MST, because Heavy Storm isn't going to surprise anybody. So let me know what you guys think, and feel free to comment below.